With violence increasing between Palestine and Israel, advocacy group Africa for Palestine says Israel's impunity must end. It wants the Middle Eastern country to be held accountable for violating international laws.
As Africa for Palestine, we are calling on the South African government to take the cause of the Palestinian people to international bodies, including, for example, the United Nations and specifically the International Criminal Court. We believe that Israel has a case to answer for the crime of apartheid, which has been well documented now, not only by South African organizations, but also by international human rights bodies.
Political parties are calling for peace and urgent international action.
We call on the United Nations to take urgent steps and convene an urgent Security Council meeting wherein they must take decisions that will pragmatically enhance the life of the people of Palestine and protect their human rights. We call on the international community to follow suit and provide all necessary logistical support in the protection of the life and welfare of the people of Palestine, amongst which logistics should include finances, food, clothing, and shelter.
And we repeat our condemnation in the strongest possible terms of the unlawful evictions of Palestinians from their homes in Sheikh al-Jarrah and the brutal attacks on Palestinian protesters at Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock. We reiterate that the expansion of settlements by Israel has already been condemned by the United Nations and urge the international community to stop Israel from expanding its illegal occupation of Palestinian lands and property.
But what we need is strong leaders coming to the table and people pushing for peace. And we've got to look for we've got to look for strong leaders in this. The DA continues to take a diplomatic approach that was agreed upon, which is known as the Oslo Accords. Israel and the Palestinian territories have an obligation to its people to seek peace and to show leadership both internally and externally.
Responding to political parties weighing in, the South African Zionist Federation says Jewish people have an absolute right to live in self-determination in Israel.
Israel's supposed regional partners for peace have instead chosen the path of violence instead of a path of negotiation and dialogue. And thirdly, that Hamas must stop firing rockets into Israel, and Hamas must recognize that violence is not a legitimate path to peace.